Tennyson, a song. A spirit haunts the year's last hours, dwelling amid these yellowing bowers. To himself he talks, for at eventide, listening earnestly, at his work you may hear him sob and sigh. In the walks, earthward he boweth the heavy stalks of the mouldering flowers. Heavily hangs the broad sunflower over its grave, I' the earth so chilly. Heavily hangs the hollyhock, heavily hangs the tiger lily. The air is damp and hushed and close, as a sick man's room when he taketh repose. An hour before death, my very heart faints, and my whole soul grieves at the most rich smell of the rotting leaves, and the breath of the fading edges of box beneath, and the year's last rose. Heavily hangs the broad sunflower over its grave, I' the earth so chilly. Heavily hangs the hollyhock, heavily hangs the tiger lily. Tennyson, song. The Owl. When cats run home and light is come, the dew is cold upon the ground, and the far-off stream is dumb, and the whirring sail goes round, and the whirring sail goes round. Alone and warming his 5 wits, the white owl in the belfry sits. When merry milkmaids click the latch, and rarely smells the new-mown hay, and the cock hath sung beneath the thatch, twice or thrice his roundelay, twice or thrice his roundelay. Alone and warming his 5 wits, the white owl in the belfry sits. Tennyson, from Mariana. With blackest moss the flower plots, where thickly crusted, one and all, the rusted nails fell from the knots that held the pier to the garden wall. The broken sheds looked sad and strange, unlifted was the clinking latch, weeded and worn the ancient thatch. Upon the lonely moated grange, she only said, my life is dreary. He cometh not, she said. She said, I am aweary, aweary. I would that I were dead. All day within the dreamy house, the doors upon their hinges creaked, the blue fly sung in the pane, the mouse behind the mouldering wainscot shrieked, or from the crevice peered about, old faces glimmered through the drawers. Old footsteps trod the upper floors. Old voices called her from without. She only said, "My life is dreary." "He cometh not," she said. She said, "I am aweary, aweary. I would that I were dead." The sparrows chirrup on the roof, the slow clock ticking, and the sound, which to the wooing wind aloof, the poplar maid did all confound. Her sense, but most she loathed the hour, when the thick-modded sunbeam lay athwart the chambers, and the day was sloping towards his western bower. Then said she, "I am very dreary." "He will not come," she said. She wept, "I am aweary, aweary. O God, that I were dead." Morn, in the white wake of the morning star, came furrowing all the orient into gold. The Princess. Tennyson. Songs from the Princess. The splendor falls on castle walls and snowy summits old in story. The long light shakes across the lakes, and the wild cataract leaps in glory. Blow, bugle, blow, set the wild echoes flying. Blow, bugle, answer echoes dying, dying, dying. O hark, O hear, how thin and clear, and thinner, clearer, farther going. O sweet and far from cliff and scar, the horns of Elfland faintly blowing. Blow, let us hear the purple glens replying. Blow, bugle, answer echoes dying, dying, dying. Now sleeps the crimson petal, now the white, nor waves the cypress in the palace walk, nor winks the gold fin in the porphyry font. The firefly wakens. Waken thou with me. Now droops the milk-white peacock like a ghost, and like a ghost she glimmers on to me. Now lies the earth all Danube to the stars, and all thy heart lies upon unto me. Now slides the silent meteor on, and leaves a shining furrow, as thy thoughts in me. Now folds the lily all her sweetness up, and slips into the bosom of the lake. So fold thyself, my dearest, thou, and slip into my bosom, and be lost in me. Come down, O maid, from yonder mountain height. What pleasure lives in height? The shepherds sang. In height and cold the splendor of the hills. But cease to move so near the heavens, and cease to glide a sunbeam by the blasted pine, to sit a star upon the sparkling spire. And come, for love is a valley, come, for love is of the valley. Come thou down and find him. By the happy threshold he, or hand in hand with plenty in the maze, or red with spirited purple of the vats, or fox-like in the vine, nor cares to walk with death and mourning on the silver horns. Nor wilt thou snare him in the white ravine, nor find him dropped upon the firths of ice, that huddling slant in furrow-cloven falls, to roll the torrent out of dusky doors. But follow, let the torrent dance thee down, to find him in the valley. Let the wild, lean-headed eagles yelp alone, and leave the monstrous ledges there to slope and spill their thousand wreaths of dangling water smoke, that like a broken purpose waste in air. So waste not thou, but come, for all the valves await thee azure pillars of the truth of the hearth. Arise, to thee the children call, and I, thy shepherd, pipe, and sweet is every sound. Sweeter thy voice, but every sound is sweet. Myriads of rivulets hurrying thro' the lawn, the moan of doves in immemorial elms, and murmuring of innumerable bees. Tennyson, Tithonus. The woods decay and fall. The vapors weep their burthen to the ground. Man comes and tills the field and lies beneath, and after many a summer dies the swan. Me only cruel immortality consumes. I wither slowly in thine arms. Here at the quiet limit of the world, a white-haired shadow roaming like a dream, the ever-silent spaces of the east, far-folded mists and gleaming halls of morn. Alas, for this grey shadow, once a man, so glorious in his beauty and thy choice, who madest him thy chosen, that he seemed to his great heart none other than a god. I asked thee, give me immortality. Then didst thou grant mine asking with a smile, like wealthy men who care not how they give, but they strong hours indignant worked their wills, and beat me down, and marred and wasted me. And though they could not end me, left me maimed, to dwell in presence of immortal youth, immortal age beside immortal youth. And all I was in ashes. Can thy love, thy beauty, make amends, though even now close over us the silver star, thy guide, shines in those tremulous eyes that fill with tears, to hear me? Let me go. Take back thy gift. Why should a man desire in any way to vary from the kindly race of men, or pass beyond the goal of ordinance, where all should pause, as is most meet for all? A soft air fans the cloud apart. There comes a glimpse of that dark world where I was born. Once more the old mysterious glimmer steals from thy pure brows and from thy shoulders pure, and bosom beating with a heart renewed. Thy cheek begins to redden through the gloom. Thy sweet eyes brighten slowly close to mine, ere yet they blind the stars and the wild team, which love thee, yearning fight thy yoke arise, and shake the darkness from their loosened manes, and beat the twilight into flakes of fire. Lo, ever thus thou growest beautiful. In silence, then before thine answer given, departest, and thy tears are on my cheek. Why wilt thou ever scare me with thy tears, and make me tremble, lest a saying learnt in days far off on that dark earth be true? The gods themselves cannot recall their gifts. Ay me, ay me, with what another heart in days far off, and with what other eyes I used to watch, if I be he that watched the lucid outline forming round thee, saw the dim curls kindle into sunny rings, changed with thy mystic change, and felt my blood glow with the glow that slowly crimsoned all. Thy presence and thy portals, while I lay, mouth, forehead, eyelids, growing dewy warm, with kisses balmier than half-opening buds of April, and could hear the lips that kissed, whispering I knew not what of wild and sweet, like that strange song I heard Apollo sing, while Ilion, like a mist, rose into towers. Yet hold me not forever in thine east. How can my nature longer mix with thine? Coldly thy rosy shadows bathe me, cold are all thy lights, and cold my wrinkled feet upon thy glimmering thresholds, when the stream floats up from those dim fields about the homes of happy men that have the power to die, and grassy barrows of the happier dead. Release me and restore me to the ground. Thou seest all things, thou wilt see my grave. Thou wilt renew thy beauty morn by morn. I, earth, in earth, forget these empty courts, and thee returning on thy silver wheels. And far below them roars the long brook, falling through the cloven ravine, in cataract after cataract to the sea. Owanon. A land of streams, some like a downward smoke, slow dropping veils of thinnest lawn did go, and some throw wavering lights and shadows broke, rolling a slumbrous sheet of foam below. They saw the gleaming river seaward flow from the inner land. Far off, 3 mountain tops, 3 silent pinnacles of aged snow, stood sunset flushed and dewed with showery drops. Up clomb the shadowy pine above the woven copse.